I was trying to film. Selena, come on. Hello everyone and welcome to my May 2024 reading vlog. I've decided to record this little clip because it is about halfway through the month now and I haven't really filmed my intro, so this is now my intro. A lot of things have already occurred this month. The first thing I want to talk about is that earlier this month my dog Wyatt died. You will see a few clips of him in this vlog where he was a bit sick and we were taking care of him. But the other video that I am posting this month is a celebration of Wyatt's life from when I started recording in 2020 to this year. So I really hope you enjoy it, seeing all the fun, silly, goofy things that he gets up to. A lot of it is also mostly for our family to grieve and recover. So yeah, we miss him a lot. It's only been about a week, and his presence is really missed in the house. The second thing is Selena has been quite the rambunctious and silly little kitty. We did not buy her as a replacement for our dog. It was just coincidence after we adopted her. So as you will see in the next clips, I went to another cottage with my father and I read the final 4 volumes of Batman by Scott Snyder, Greg Capullo, and other credited collaborators as they did their final New 52 run where like Gordon is Batman. I hated it. It was awful. So I am glad to be done those. And then I read my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster book for the month, and that was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I talk more about that in the upcoming poster vlog, but I am giving that book 2 stars. It was interesting ideas for its time, of course, being published in the 1930s, but a lot of it was written very clinically, written very sporadically, and I didn't particularly enjoy where the story went and what the message was. Like, I understand what the author was trying to say, but I think the execution of it was done very poorly, and I actually prefer 1984 for that reason. Currently, I am back into Batman comics again for a future upcoming vlog. That's all I'll say for now. But I am currently reading the first couple issues of that run, so that's going well so far. And as for any future upcoming reads, I'm not sure what I'm going to read yet, so stay tuned.
got a very important job to do back there. You're gonna stop the people from sneaking out the back. Alright, everybody. Fasten those socks, cause they might get blown right off. Time for contest, part of the show. Get your hype on, Casper will If you can't answer a problem or a question on your own, call now. We have a highly trained stripper detective standing by. Once then I fell on hard times and almost lost my place. They said you could be a stripper. Could I sell these eyes? Show, creep, show. Step right up for the beat show. We got free clothes and free clothes, so time to be a little weirdo. I'll tell you a story about little old me.
Okay, just a quick update here. I haven't read too much aside from the content that I'm reading for next month's vlog. However, I just finished a book this morning. I read Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson, and I'm going to be giving that book 3 stars. Now, this book was about a woman named Ro who meets another woman named Ash at a farmer's market where she works at. She makes cupcakes and soaps and stuff, and Ro really likes the cupcakes and starts to get to know her that way, and they do develop a relationship, but there is a sinister thing going on under the surface. Now, I won't spoil it, however, I will say that it is a pretty predictable twist, but the way that it gets there and leads up to it is perfectly fine. I thought the book was probably the amount of length that it should be for a story like this. It is a shorter book, and while it didn't blow me away, it was interesting enough, which is why it is getting the 3-star rating from me, because it is just a simple enough story. You're just gonna hear cats slamming doors and scratching doors. That's just the way it is in the house now.
Now, as I was saying, there is this new phenomenon I've noticed in like books that have been published in the past, I'd say 3 years. This happened to me with A Long Time Dead as well. The first couple chapters of Bloom have the like stupidest buzzword descriptors in them. Like, I have a part that I screenshotted that talked about cottagecore and Studio Ghibli characters and just like other buzzwords that were really off-putting when I was reading it. But that only occurred in like the first 3 chapters, and the rest of the book was written normally and fine and didn't have all these modern day weird buzzwords to like hook people. I was talking about it with my friend. I think they do it on purpose. I think that might be like the preview of like an ebook, the first couple of chapters, right? Or it's the hook that like encourages people to publish. It's like the first couple chapters has to be this weird advertisement that has really quirky language, weird buzzwords, stuff to compare itself to, I guess. So that was weird in the first couple chapters, but thankfully I did stick through it because I was not going to read something that described going to a farmer's market as cottagecore. Like, come on, guys. That's my update for now. It will probably be the wrap-up when I see you next. It's funny, all the things that I've read this month have started with a B. I really want to keep that, so stay tuned for then. Okay, and here we are finally at the wrap-up. I'm not going to have too much to say because I only really read 2 books this month, 4 comics that I'm allowed to discuss here, and then 14 comics that I will be discussing in the next video being released. So the first book that I read for the month was, of course, for my 100 Epic Reads of a Lifetime poster, and that was Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. I'm giving that book 2.5 to 3 stars. It just didn't resonate with me. It was a typical dystopian fiction written in the 1930s, talking about how modern day sensibilities just won't fit in a new society. So there was a severe lack of emotions, a lack of senses, and people were placed into very specific social hierarchies, judged for that, and people's true happiness came from doing drugs. And of course, another one was that they did not rely on having babies, everybody was cloned. So while those are very interesting, frightening, and innovative ideas for a book published in the 1930s, of course near World War II, I just didn't find it exciting or evocative enough. I thought the writing was very clinical, however that could be on purpose, and I just didn't get as much emotional response from it that I did from 1984. So that dystopian novel was fine, but it wasn't my favorite out of all the ones that I have to or have read for the poster. Next, I finished the last 4 issues of the Scott Snyder New 52 Batman run, those being Volume 7 Endgame, Volume 8 Superheavy, Volume 9 Bloom, and Volume 10 Epilogue. Now, Endgame was my favorite out of those, obviously because of the Joker and the storyline that I have read previously. However, the storyline with Gordon being Batman in this mecha suit and being paid for by the military, I did not like that. I liked the character design for Bloom and his origins and the way that he could bestow power upon people, but of course it ended up breaking them and killing them and stuff. Very interesting stuff. The person who created Bloom had a huge vision for them, and I appreciate that. It was a unique and new villain. However, having Gordon solve that or try to stop it with brute force instead of, you know, the more Batman detective sort of personal handiwork, and then also brute force because it's Batman. I just thought that that failed severely. I thought Bloom would need a more interesting way to be stopped, and just punching him and hitting him with tanks and stuff. I don't know, I just didn't like that. And I didn't like all the weird Batman re-traumatizing himself with his clones thing. I thought that was very stupid as well. So ultimately, I did not enjoy the ending of the New 52 Batman run, and I am glad that it got rebooted. Next, I read Bloom by Delilah S. Dawson, and I gave that one 3 stars. It is a shorter novel about 2 women who meet at a farmer's market and develop a relationship, but one of the girls is very secretive and very protective and very peculiar, and the main character has to figure out that she's slowly being sort of trapped into this relationship with someone who is not stable. Of course, I mentioned that I had some issues with the writing in the initial beginning chapters, but that quickly died down and the rest of the book was readable and manageable. I thought that it was fine enough and the tension built pretty well, but I thought the execution was a bit odd because they decided to go with the 2 possible endings, and I just thought that it would be better if it picked one over the other. And I thought that it was a little bit just too simple for me. It didn't shock me. It didn't cause a lot of emotional response in me. It was fine enough, and I'm glad that I read it because it was an interesting story. And of course, I am more than happy to read more lesbian or sapphic literature. And then finally, I read 14 volumes of Tom King's Batman run. That includes the Batman, the Flash, the Button novella for added context. I will be talking about that in next month's video, but I had a more enjoyable time reading those than I did finishing the Scott Snyder Batman run. So please look forward to that, where I will be discussing each issue, complete spoilers as well. So that's it. That was this reading month. A little bit scattered and not much to discuss, but I ultimately read 20 things, so I'm satisfied and I am glad to be done. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye.